Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Back Yourself
Random
podcast
stuff.
here on a Tuesday night. Christopher and myself, hello, my brother from another mother, here to talk some footy again. What a blessing it is because the weeks just keep coming at us left, right, and centre, and the matchups get better and more mouth-watering.
Do they?
And we're off with a bloody flyer of a one on Thursday night.
Oh, you want to get?
Which we will get to shortly.
I
But
thought you were going to say something about Roosters.
I just wanted to check in with you before we
No,
get
I'm good. I want to check in with you because your team isn't playing this week.
Roosters.
Yeah.
Yeah, the round's not complete without them.
But Dragons are back.
Knowing what Nwanganito Ase can score on a weekly basis, that I am robbed of that. But Dragons are back, so as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy, and I am excited
back.
for a few of the
And
matchups.
Manly's back.
What game are you most excited? Dragons,
No, the first one.
the big dogs, the Penrith
because,
Bulldogs
like,
versus the Penrith
Because
Panthers.
then, we might be going back to old state if they manage to mess it up.
That'll truly piss me off. But I'm going to vote.
They can't.
And I'm going to give a special teaser that it's going to be a different kind of under duress this round, and it's going to involve the last fixture of the round.
Well,
The two morons.
my upset alert is right smack bang in the middle of the round.
I have a feeling which way you're leaning, and that's class if you pick them. But before we do anything else, obviously those that are loyally watching the Back Yourself podcast, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, I'm giving us a plug because 500 of you cunts watch the video, and we get 2 likes, and that's
Because they do nothing for us.
Yeah, they don't do anything for us, but I think we deserve that at the very least.
Actually, do we? Before we start, how did the Warriors fans in the comments turn their loss into oh yeah, Penrith is just too good? I don't understand.
Because they're the most optimistic fan base of all time. Warriors could come 17th and they'll be like, it's all right, G, it wasn't our year this year. Next year's our year.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that.
Think about it, right? When have you ever seen Warriors fans truly despise their team?
Never.
It doesn't happen, right? Which I respect to a certain opinion. And the good thing about the Wars fans is they are gracious in victory and defeat.
This is true.
They are annoying in victory, don't get me wrong.
No, it's fine.
But they are extremely gracious in defeat. Like other teams, I don't know, let's say the Roosters lost. Let's say the Roosters lost to the Panthers B team. Their fans would be like, fuck this team, we're garbage.
Okay, in saying
But
that,
Warriors would be like, oh, they were just better than us on the day. Shout out. There will be full respect to the Panthers. We got to go back to the drawing board, which I respect.
In saying that, we didn't actually say much. Watching it back, if they were mid-table and they lost that game, I feel like
we'll be like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah,
they essentially got a pass.
They got a pass because they've been good. Yeah, that's the only
I
reason.
feel like you actually gave them more of a pass than even I did. But
yeah,
we'll see how much they get a pass when they get hammered in Suncorp.
Because
which we'll talk about.
I've been sold a lie with these cunts.
Yeah,
where is he? Someone find him.
Well, he's gone missing, but. Yeah. Who hasn't gone missing is the Penrith Panthers, who returned all 5 of their origin starters after, as Chris mentioned, the big win in New Zealand, taking on their feeder club, the Canterbury Bulldogs, on Thursday night. And here are your ins and outs for this one. Obviously, as I mentioned, Cleary, To'o, Martin, and Edwards all return. Scott Sorensen is out after scoring a hat-trick, while Paul Adamati, Dane Laurie, suspension.
He scored too much. Okay.
Yeah. He got a week for every try that he scored. Dane Laurie, Matt Eisenhuth, and Trent Tillau all make way for the Origin contingent. Brad Schneider and Luke Garner go to the bench. So Brad Schneider's going to come on and get 4 tries.
He's going to come on and stop anything.
For the Bulldogs, Stephen Crichton, Max King, Kurt Mann, and Matty Burton are all back after their massive win against Souths where they didn't cover. Jacob Carras slides onto the wing. Lockie Galvin returns to the bench because he's not good enough to start. And Curtis Moran goes to 18th man. Taff and Turpin and Wilson are out of the squad. Thank fuck, Seraldo. So, Christopher, not a top of the table clash because Penrith aren't quite up there.
They're in the 8, though.
We got essentially the champions versus the up-and-comers.
So give him the shout-out. Go on.
Shout out to Stephen Crichton. What a performance you had in Origin Game 2, where you scored the greatest individual try of all time, further cementing how valuable you are to the Bulldogs. Shout out to Jacob Carras.
Yeah.
It wasn't your turn, but it's a matter of if, not when, you will put that Blues jersey on. Shout out to Cameron Seraldo for making the tough decision of dropping Turpin and Taff, who essentially cost you guys the spread in the last fixture. Shout out to Connor Tracy, as always, for the next coming of Billy Slater. Who knows, maybe you also one day will put on the sky blue. And shout out to Max King for possibly the most pointless Origin performance of all time. Now, in saying that,
Gus and Galvin as well.
Oh, and Galvin as
and
well.
Matt.
The greatest teenager of all time. And Matt and Chris Chris.
Yeah.
Okay, now the shout-outs are out of the way. We can give a shout-out to the bookies who have pulled the trigger on the Bulldogs, putting them 2.5-point favourites at the Fortress, which was Combank Stadium. Are the Bulldogs justifiably 2.5-point favourites, Chris, or should it be more favourites? Pick 'em. What do you think of this fixture, my friend?
In a true world, and me being optimistic about the Bulldogs, because I never want to say anything bad about them anymore.
You're done with them?
Truly, 2.5 is that it? But these cunts, like, until proven, I can say the same garbage. Have they realistically beaten anyone that is in any capacity any good at all? Look, they beat Raiders down 50-0. And the issue is, every time in this season so far that they've played someone good, their first halves have been diabolical. And they just got away with it against Raiders. Brisbane, they did not get away with it. So, in this case, if you're going to just give 24 points to Penrith in the first half and play shit again, then you will lose. Like, there's no reason that you will not come back. But I'm optimist. I'm an optimistic person. I'm going to say that they're actually going to play good for once.
Cool.
And in my mind, they're going to really show how good they are and why they should be first. But there is a slight part of me being like, can these idiots really fuck it up to Penrith? And Penrith is the team that, it's kind of like Warriors. Like, this Dogs and Warriors kind of operate the same. Their defense is pretty good, and then they score points off their defense. Penrith made that happen. Yeah. Penrith essentially made that happen. And the only reason that I would take Penrith in any scenario is because I just think Dogs are shit, which there's no reason to. So in my opinion, you have to take Dogs -2. And in addition to that, we don't know how healthy Cleary will be.
But we know how brave he will be.
We'll be brave. But regardless of that, if it comes down to he can't even kick the ball in the field of play and Blaze is kicking, then 2.5 is going to be an easy stretch. So, look, he kicked in the second half of the New South Wales game, maybe more because he needed to than anything else. But is he going to risk it in the middle of this game? I don't know. They conveniently have a bye, I think, the week after this. So he actually plays this and goes straight into Origin. So, essentially, if he actually wants to play Origin, is he really going to kill himself this game? Probably not. So I'm going to argue that 2.5 is that it. I'll take the Dogs.
I'm going to say that this is probably the most intriguing game of the whole season, in my opinion.
No, it's not.
I think it is.
There's nothing intriguing.
Because
it's going to be unders.
I think we're going to learn a lot about both of these teams in this game. And are Bulldogs truly the perennial fucking heavyweights of this competition that deserve to be in first place, that can put all their hiccups aside against top tier competition and go out and pump Penrith? And are Penrith finally turning a corner within this particular season and figuring things out to the point where they can go and get a big scalp and put Dogs away and show that, hey, we are actually still like the team to beat in a sense, or the team that, you know what, like you can't should be scared of us regardless of where we finish on the ladder.
Well, they got to finish in the
result of this game will teach us a lot about both of those things. But as far as what we get paid the big bucks to do, which is come on this podcast and give our takes, 2.5, is that it? 2.
Well,
after 17 rounds of seeing Penrith, this
is all Warriors' fault, I'm telling you.
You are somewhat nitpicking, and rightfully so, I'm not blaming you for this, the Bulldogs' resume of, well, what's really your best win? And I think we would agree it's probably the Raiders one, but again, even in the Raiders one, we're like, well, why are you cunts down 20-0 in the first place? What's Penrith's most convincing performance, full strength?
Week 1.
Week 1?
Yeah, they haven't played good since week 1.
In hindsight, Sharks are literally 500.
Sharks just suck. Yeah.
Sharks suck ass.
I think they were better then. That's the only... You could even argue that.
Someone could come and be like, well, no, boys, it's actually the Broncos game, but...
It's not.
Broncos also suck ass.
Correct.
So... maybe it's actually the Melbourne loss in hindsight of Cleary going down. You can't have no players and you lost, but you covered for no reason.
No. But then you have to credit all the teams that cover this as Melbourne, which is every other team.
Exactly. So, the way I'm viewing things, outside of everyone coming on and being like, this is a 4-time premiership winning side, there's nothing within this particular season that would suggest to me that these cunts should be 2.5 in any capacity.
No, they shouldn't be.
Right? So I would have this spread 5.5 personally. And I think the Dogs have played that good. And as far as the variables going into this game, these cunts took their backup bums to New Zealand played on the Saturday, and now have to fly back as a club 5 days later and play on a short turnaround and play Dogs. And Dogs, we haven't seen these cunts since they didn't cover against Souths almost 2 weeks ago. So they have the extended rest. They're very healthy, and I know that Penrith seem healthy on paper, but like you said, what kind of state are the bodies of Nathan Cleary and Dylan Edwards and all these players that have been in and out for the entire season? What kind of state are they running out in, knowing that, look, after this we have another bye and then Origin, and then we can really make our back end push
it's the one game
towards
away,
the end
right?
of the season. So 2.5 is that it in terms of how good Dogs have been and how not so great Panthers have been this season. And then also there's the factors of, well, Dogs have this and that variable going in their favour in this game. And this is not even at Blue Bet where I could be like, well, I'd be very inclined to never tip anyone against Penrith at Blue Bet. But like you said in the preseason pod, these cunts don't even have a home for the whole season. And that's actually been a big problem for them. Because at CommBank, these cunts this is not the same fear as going to Blue Bet Stadium.
Correct.
So, Dogs, if you guys truly go down there and back down to Penrith, I will have to raise one eyebrow at you guys for the rest of the season, because you did go to Suncorp and get molested. We haven't seen you play Melbourne yet. You were down 22-0 against Raiders. And
if you do that to Penrith, you will lose.
And if you go down and back down to Penrith, it's like, well, is this still a Master v Apprentice sort of thing where you guys play the same system, you have similar personnel, half of the Bulldogs club is actually former Penrith players, and can you just not beat them at their own game? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
No, I think it says more than that. I think like that gives them the excuse that they just can't beat Penrith. But I think it's more of a systemic thing. And to be honest, outside of that Raiders game, they haven't beaten anyone in that like big high.
Well,
what's the word?
That's where I want to challenge you, both of us, a little bit. Who the fuck is big and high in this sport?
I agree, but
they haven't played.
No, but I'm dragging it back to last year as well.
Okay.
So because last year was the start of this dynasty that they essentially, but those last 3 games were essentially just got found out like that, and then this year, realistically, they've only beaten Raiders, which, like we've said, they were down 22-0. Yes, they came back, and it shows a lot that they come back, but this game says a lot. 2.5, is that it?
Yeah, is that it? I think there should be like 5-point favourite.
Oh, yeah. It's Penrith.
On paper and whatever, if you want to look at Penrith and be like, how can you put them 4.5? But the games are not played on paper.
Now, listen, I got one message. If you guys manage to somehow lose, I don't want to see Sexton on that team shit going forward.
Oh, yeah, you didn't even comment on
what am I going to say?
You know what?
I'm sorry. You know what?
There is 5% of me that thinks, you know what? It might be convenient if they get hammered and Sexton plays like garbage.
You know what? Actually, at some point, I'm sorry, Dogs fans, and you cunts are going to be like, nah, Sorrello's actually just being a bitch. You're telling me finals week 1, Garvin's not going to be starting?
Yeah, it's a matter of
when,
time.
Just do it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, the quicker you break it off, the quicker we could get on with the fucking season. And after your bye, it was perfect timing just to get rid of him. You have no buys left now. You have to play every single game. And Gallen will be there through Origin.
I personally really thought that the bye round, like this would be, all right, like...
Come on.
Galvin's been there for 3 weeks. He knows the system, the plays, blah, blah, blah. Just get him in there. But he seems adamant that Sexton has to continue starting.
Yeah, and you can keep Sexton there.
I believe...
Drop Jerry.
I believe it's going to be the... All right, Reed, get the fuck off in the 50th minute and Sexton can go play hooker, which... worked against the morons they played that particular week, which was Para. But will that work against Penrith? I don't see a scenario where Sexton's viable defensively in the middle to play hooker for half an hour.
Yeah, with fucking Moses, Leota and Co.
And then it's like, well, did we really sign Galvin to play 20 minutes at the end of the game?
Apparently they did. They love Sexton.
Doggies fans, Tim Rahman, shout out to you. Is that something you guys foresee to be the case going forward?
No, but people agreed with me today that everyone said he should be starting. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think people expected him to be in there by now, but he just isn't. So that's all right. We can move on to 6 p.m. Friday night at 4 Pines Park.
The 2-minute game.
The team that has given wins to Titans, Knights, and Dragons in the past couple of rounds against a team that hasn't won in over a month. Manly Seagulls take on my mighty West Tigers. There's nothing mighty about them. Shout out to Harry. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to you if you still want it. The Tigers are going there 6.5 point underdogs. And this is your team list. Tom Trbojevic has been moved to center. because Chris called Seabold and told him what to do.
Thank you, Seabold.
Lehigh will play fullback in a major positional switch.
That's not a change.
Ruben Gary goes onto the wing because he hasn't scored enough at centre. Jason Saab is not fast enough, so he makes way. Hamoli brings Corey Hamoli's shoulder injury brings Waddell onto the starting side, while veteran Matt Lodge is back in the pack. Jazz Tavanga starts at hooker. Jake Simpkin joins the bench. Lockie Croker is in concussion protocol after suffering a head knock at training on Tuesday.
They dropped
What a
him.
liar. Heath Maidson takes over at fullback from Jahream, who faces 4 weeks out with a hamstring injury. Jahream Bula will play 5'8", and Latu Finu is a new halfback. Tony Suka has been promoted to the bench. A spread of 6.5.
All right.
Is that it? Is that all? You can tell why.
Why?
Is that it?
They're
From both
dead.
of our perspectives.
They're going to die.
They should die.
Realistically, Manly back at home, off a bye. Hopper White back at fullback. Turbo playing centre. Doesn't have to do as much work. Their forwards obviously are garbage, but they're playing a pack that is already shit anyway. So
Jack Bird starting.
Jack Bird starting. That apparently made the conversation. Isn't Aiden on the bench as well?
No.
Aw.
De Silva, Pereira, Mitchell, Seyfarth, Sione Finu, and Suka.
But what do you mean?
Royce Hunt's still out. He's tired.
Yeah. Look, Manly literally Manly show some respect for yourselves. Like the spread actually has said to me that Manly have been just completely written off by the bookies. In an old Manly world, this literally could have been 20.
Yeah, I know.
It didn't matter who was in the forward pack. They see Turbo, Cherry, Jake, and they're like, yeah, fuck it, 20.
Yep.
It's Tigers.
Yep.
And in a current world, literally, this is 6.5 if Galvin plays for Tigers. If Galvin was playing and it was Galvin, Luai, even without Bula, I'd be like, all right, yeah, okay. But Latu Finu?
This really says a lot about both teams.
It says
Because it's like, well, Manly, you cunts are so bad that we're going to make you 6.5 with Turbo.
Yeah.
And Cherry Evans and Jake. And Tigers, you guys are so fucking bad that you're still going to get 6 points against that forward
Can
pack.
you imagine this? This would have been 9.5 if Hamoli played.
Yeah.
We would be like calling for 24 points.
24.5.
They would literally get killed.
But
Hamoli's a big loss. Like, I get it.
okay, Hamoli's a massive loss.
But they don't have Bula. Like, it's...
But can you really go and put Manly double-digit favourites after giving Knights and Titans wins?
Yeah.
Titans, like, they can't beat anybody, and they're 13+ Manly with Hamoli. So can you then go and be like, well, we'll just put him 10.5 Turbos back?
Well, look, okay. This is a true test of what Seabold's done, right?
Oh, God.
So
He's in the firing line, isn't he?
I'll tell you. Apparently, this is what happened. Is that Seabold has given all these cunts homework as to why they're shit. Each individual player has given them feedback and said, this is why you're shit. This is where you were shit in that Titans game, for example. I think it's a Titans game, right? And Saab and Croker, who apparently got concussion.
What did he write on the paper? You cunts can't score.
He wrote like what they said. What he said to Saab, what basically Saab and Croker did was like, fuck you, piss off. And he was like, yeah, all right, get the fuck out of my team. So every single other player should have fucking looked at the notes and been like, all right,
we're fucking garbage.
we're garbage, all right? And if Seabold's going to do that and get no reaction from his team, while Benji, on the other hand, I don't even know, does he even get these boys to train? Like, I don't even think they have the power. Even if they trained, even if they have the effort, they have shit all.
Yeah, I know.
How are they going to score?
Their backline's okay.
Yeah, but you're playing Manly's backline.
I know. They have nothing going for them.
There's nothing going for them. You can't even win the forwards.
You can.
What, through Terrell May?
I would take the Tigers forwards. Considering that Coruscant's there, I would take...
But Lodge is playing.
That's part of the problem.
They still have Jake. I'll take Jake.
No, but I'll take Coruscant over fucking Jazz.
Oh, yeah.
Pulling the strings in the middle of the park. Come on.
Yeah, but then the halves is a complete mismatch.
Manly, the only reason they're not at least 11.5 is because of how garbage they've been.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only reason. So you have to keep going with them. And I know Manly at their best will annihilate this team.
Oh, yeah.
But will we even get...
And it's at 4 points.
Even if you get 30% of their best, they will cover 6.
I have a weird, strange feeling about this game. And I think it's...
This is not Raiders.
It's a lot of what you're alluding to as far as homework boy and what he's given to his troops. If this kind has given them homework and they've done it, you might see 36-0 at halftime.
Oh, yeah.
But if they haven't done that
If they haven't done homework, Tigers will cover.
No. I'm going the extra route.
Tigers will
If
win.
these cunts haven't done their homework, Tigers might win.
Yeah, because they won't give up.
I don't think Tigers can go out there and lose by 4. They're either going to go and win because these cunts haven't done their homework, or it's going to be 30-0 at halftime.
I'm leaning 30.
Have they done their homework?
Fuck playing Manly.
I really, for the sake of the Manly club and Seabold, who we like on the Back Yourself podcast, I hope they've done their homework and they wake up for a round, because there's no alternate universe that in back-to-back weeks you can't give Knights and Titans wins. That's unacceptable. And if you back that up by having a bye, being given homework, and then you go and lose to Seyfarth,
well, look,
it's too much.
Look,
it's too much.
I think they've done their homework because of that Brisbane game they had at Brookvale. They could have easily given up. Yeah, they gave up to Titans and Knights 2 weeks later, right? But if they gave up to that Brisbane team, this could have been 4.5 at that point. Because Manly would have completely have just been eroded from history. But I think they have more hope.
I don't think the brains of the punters go back that far.
My brains go back that
I know
far.
it does, but for the rest of the world, all they're like...
They look at...
We took minus 10.5 against Titans, and these guns quit, and we took minus, 8.5 against Knights, and we went up 16-0, and they quit again.
Yeah, so but this is at 4 points, and you're laying less.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a fortress going to Seabar Super Stadium.
Tigers are dead.
Tigers, realistically, you can't should die. Yeah. And that's what we're going to leave it at.
That's the death of the round.
There's another death coming, ladies. Well, there's no death.
No, there's no death.
But my Newcastle Knights take on the Milk. Raiders. Shout out to Charles Caroon. Shout out to me as the new Knights ambassador from this week onwards. There are unfortunately a few changes to the somehow winning side of last round in Newcastle. And you're going to like this one, man. I don't know if you've seen it. Jackson Hastings replaces...
Yes! I knew
Jackson Hastings comes in for the luckless Fletcher Sharp, who ruptured his spleen and lacerated his kidney and got a concussion all in the same play. If you can't beat them, hurt them, is what I think Dolphins were trying to implement. Prop Jacob Saifidi will make his origin case in game 3.
It didn't write that at all.
That's what it says right here. After overcoming a calf injury, pushing Matt Crocker to the bench where he belongs. Greg Marju and Jack Hetherington... All right, Adam O'Brien, don't fuck it up, all right? You can't got a couple of wins. Wake up.
One win, a couple.
Jack are listed among the reserves as they push for a return from injury. So not too many changes, but obviously Fletcher Sharp, big loss. Hopefully Marju can come back and complete the backline of doom from 2 years ago. Sasangi comes in against his former team for Hudson Young, who is being rested. Young has been managing an ongoing groin issue, and the club thinks that we'll keep covering so we don't need him. Noah Martin is the new face on the bench. A spread of 7.5 at the fortress of McDonald Jones Stadium. Can the Knights' miracle run continue for me, or are they cooked?
What miracle? They won one game.
No, they won 2.
Oh, they beat Manly. That doesn't count as a win.
And they covered against Roosters. Essentially, in my eyes, they've 3-peated.
Okay, well, they're going to make it 4.
Can they 4-peat?
Yeah, they're going to make it 4 and lose by 2. It's Knights. Raiders, like, they're awaiting to lose.
I know.
They just want to lose.
I know.
And no one can beat. They're too good. They're like, fuck it, we won again.
I know.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And Knights, like...
are so bad.
They're just too shit. Like, if they had Sharp, I would be... This is my upset alert, but Hastings and Cogger is like watching paint dry.
I appreciate the fact that you've mentioned upset alert, because if I had upset alert, I would go Knights.
Knights are not winning.
I truly think the 10-peat of this mass destruction is coming for the NRL.
Knights aren't winning.
And this, all right, the Dolphins game is like, well, it was a bit of a weird game, whatever. Dolphins have no forwards. This is the week where cunts truly wake up and take notice of Knights. They're coming, baby.
They're not coming.
They're going to win.
They're not going to win. They never beat Raiders.
You could say they're due.
No, they never
Raiders are trying to go out there and lose.
Yeah, I know they're trying.
It's too easy for them to keep winning. They're going to lose.
Who do Raiders play next week?
Tigers again. No, they play some morons.
South.
Let me confirm that for you
but
shortly.
Like, 7 is, or 8 or
Raiders
whatever.
play Dragons.
Ugh.
They can't lose to them.
You can't lose to them. And Hudson has to come back and make his origin case.
Yeah.
But that's, my true opinion is Raiders want to go lose.
Yeah.
Just Knights, do they have the capability of winning?
I think they have Bradman best so they can win.
In my opinion, they just don't. They're going to try, but they won't be able to win. I think they'll lose by 2 or 4.
Okay. Well, number one.
We have to take... number one, overarching all of this...
Sasangi's starting.
It's unders.
Yeah.
Unders is written all over this game, whatever the number is.
I'm not sure I agree.
Why? Knights
have their new high-powered offense.
Even last week went unders with their high-powered offense.
Yeah, it's because Dolphins couldn't score enough. Knights did their job. 26.
Yeah, Knights are only going to score 26 again this week.
That's enough.
Yeah, well, Raiders will still be unders.
They're the third best defense in the league.
Yeah, so we'll still be unders.
All right, truly in my heart of hearts, Raiders, they're begging for a loss. Between going down to Souths the way they did, letting Tigers back in the game for no reason, the margins of victory and margin for error is getting smaller and smaller every week. So automatically, I don't think they can just go and blow Knights off the park, which generally has been pretty easy to do with these guys. But I don't really see the motivation for Raiders, who look like they were just out there going through the motions against Tigers last week after they went up 50-0. And I see hunger and desperation out of Newcastle.
Hunger?
Who could have quit probably... They should have quit 6 weeks ago. But there's enough hope and enough of a blueprint for these morons that, hey, we've been here, we've done this before, and... like I said last week, this is the start of our 10-peat, where we somehow end up in the
them.
Even though we have played fucking horrible for rounds and rounds.
Do I have to... Because you've claimed... This is like me when I claimed Manly last year. This is the exact same point, and they kept fucking winning.
Yeah, but the difference was Manly was actually good. It's just no one was paying attention. These cunts aren't good. That's the difference.
But no one's good.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Actually, no, I forgot.
Souths.
My team that's going to go on a run is a bit later.
Yeah, we'll talk about them. But as far as this specific game, I would not... Put it this way. Why in God's name, with Hudson, would you have not laid 8 against Tigers, but now you want to go lay 7 without Hudson tonight?
No,
who are 10 times better
there's
than
no
Tigers.
logic to do that, right?
So
in the fortress.
They didn't cover 8 against Tigers, and now they're essentially the same spread without their best player against a team that has hope. Yeah. And Tigers have no hope.
No, I agree.
So from that perspective, you can only take the points with Knights. The true dispute in my eyes is, can these cunts win? I don't think they should. In a normal, ideal world,
they won't.
No. But given the circumstances of this week, these cunts are going to go and win, aren't they?
Could we have a week the whole top 4 losers? No. Well, no.
No, Sunday's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't come with conviction and say they'll win, because Raiders are genuinely 10 times better than these cunts. But I think the points...
Is Leo playing?
No.
Aww.
No, which is a shame. But I truly think Knights will go and win.
The second roles are awful.
The Raiders one?
Yeah, like compared to Nicholson.
Yeah.
Compared to Nicholson and Hudson.
Truly, if it was Nicholson and Hudson, I would lay 14.5. They'll destroy them.
Yeah. But I just don't know if Dylan Lucas can get free. He's going to be strangled by Strange.
That right side, Timoko, Fogarty, Savage.
Yeah.
Can they contain Ponga, Best?
Well, Timoko and Best...
if he plays.
Timoko Best is going to be a great battle.
Exactly. But I think Knights have enough strike to get some points on the board.
They have Kalen.
And he has his boy on the left side. I trust Knights.
I'll back Knights spread, but I don't think they'll win.
I respect them, mate.
They'll find a way to lose.
But we are in unison that Knights and Dogs so far are the right sides. Yeah, which I enjoy when we... Tigers...
They're never the right
There's no reason for you guys to even go to the building. But I think it's more in Manly's hands. If they've done their homework.
Is the next one the comedy show? Oh, no.
We're not quite at the comedy show, but we are at the international match. The Broncos versus the Wires. Shout out to all our
No. It's All Blacks versus All Blacks.
It's the All Blacks versus the All Blacks in this one. And it's going to be an interesting game, ladies and gentlemen. The Wires, after their loss against the Penrith Panthers B team, and the Broncos, after their huge win against the Sharks, who gave up in that second half. And Michael Maguire thinks his team is so competent that he's naming 1 to 17. Where's Cobbo?
Don't worry about Cobbo. He wants to go to Cowboys.
The Warriors...
Where's Ben Hunt?
Have had the... Yeah, he's still tired.
From what?
He doesn't want to play Origin. The Wires, unfortunately, the news of Dallin Watene-Zelezniak's ankle injury brings Ed Cossey into the side, and Rocco Berry, unfortunately, is back from his hamstring injury. Capewell returns after being rested last week, so Halasima goes to the bench, and Tanner Stowers-Smith goes to 18th man. Capewell, obviously, the big in, and Rocco Berry helps in the outside backs, but Dallin was in pretty decent form and goes down injured, which is a shame. A spread of 5 or 6.5, depending on where you look. Chrissy, is the spread justified in terms of Warriors being in the 4 and Broncos being on the outside of the 4?
This is ridiculous. How is this +6? We have to take Warriors. They might win. In my opinion, they were this close, but there's one team that's 10 times funnier to put us up than these idiots. But
I'll take them too, mate.
There's no reason for Warriors to be 6.5. Now, in an alternate universe, which is what the early spread was looking like, was this a 6.5 because Ben Hunt's coming back and he's playing hooker? And I'd be like, yeah, all right, I couldn't take 10 with Warriors with him there as well. But without him, look, Brisbane is like, it's like trying to throw darts at a dartboard. If you get the bullseye, Warriors are dead. Like, Warriors will never ever. If Broncos are able to go out there and hit a bullseye, Warriors won't even get close because Brisbane will literally score 40, and you can't score 40. Like, it's not possible. But that's what I'm saying. How many people out there? How many Wars fans? How many Brisbane fans? Even us. If the dartboard was at that camera, what's the guarantee of us hitting a bullseye?
We're just going off the stats with these fuckwits. Probably 3 out of 10.
Yeah, so 7 out of 10 times they're going to play like idiots, and Warriors are going to cover, and they might win. And so I'm going to take the 7 out of 10 side. Now, I could come out here and get completely wrong, but if Brisbane get in the grind, Warriors are good at that. If Brisbane start dropping the ball, Warriors, it's perfect for Warriors. The only scenario is Walsh and Ezra go on bags, and this game's over in 2 seconds. And that's the problem with Brisbane games at the moment, because all you could really say is, okay, we know they're good, but we don't know when they're going to be good. It's like trying to predict the roll of dice at this point. If you roll snake eyes, Warriors are going to lose 100-0 and you lose your bet. But every other time, Warriors will go there and win. Because truly, Warriors this week look much better. Capewell's back. They just came off an embarrassing loss. As much as the Wars fans say Penrith deserved it, they didn't. They had nothing. And you can't need to fucking wake up. And now you're going to go to Brisbane and show that you guys are actually good. Now, is Dallin not being there a big loss? Yes, of course. But does it put you guys 6.5-point underdogs? No. It's Brisbane. You don't know what you're going to get out of them. There's no way I'm laying 6 in this game. Warriors were this close to being my upset alert, but there's one team that's 10 times funnier, and I have to take them. Taking the Wars.
I wouldn't lay 6 either.
No way.
I would lay 19.5. I think there's death coming to the Wars. Sorry, Wars Nation.
Why are you now flipped to be against them?
I'm not against them.
They're playing the wrong team at the wrong time.
This is going to be the 3 out of 10 week that these cunts go
again.
out.
They did it last week.
No, they didn't.
No, they did it in the second half.
There was nothing good about their performance at any point of last week. They just played Nico Hines. Essentially, is what happened. These cunts haven't even played good. And I don't even think they came out. They came out possessed against Titans, but they didn't even play for 80 minutes in that week.
You know, these cunts.
These guys truly haven't had a. We're going to show everyone how good we are since they raped Bulldogs.
The beauty of this fixture is if Brisbane do win, I actually think that then they'll only be 4 points away from the 4. They might actually make it.
They will never make it because of how inconsistent they are. But we don't need consistency for 1 week. We just need them to play good. And I think they have a gear, probably 2 gears that they can go to that Warriors can't fucking go with.
They can't go with,
You know? And it's not anything against the Wars. They're just simply not as talented as the Broncos are. And when everyone did their preseason reviews and their ladder predictions, there's a reason everyone either had Broncos first, second, or third and had the Warriors 12th or 11th. Now, based on what we've seen the whole season, have Warriors been the better outfit for the majority of the year? Absolutely they have. Are Warriors the more reliable team to back in this game, getting 5 points? Absolutely. Do I think in spite of both of those things they're going to go and get fucking hammered? Yeah, I do. So for those reasons, I'm taking the Broncos line. I'm not sure Warriors, as good as they've defended this year, convenient they couldn't defend Schneider and co. Now you're going to go to Brisbane and go defend Walsh and Mam, and they're not going to defend them with fucking Rocco Berry and Kossi. No.
Is Mariner out?
Mariner was never in because they have my boy, Karapani and Shibasaki.
I wish Mariner was there.
So
he's even better than Karapani.
It's a lot of pressure to put on the shoulders of Metcalf, and
what pressure? They're just good.
I'm not sure he can handle the storm of fucking Broncos like front running that's coming for them. And these teams actually did play earlier in this season where Broncos had way less than what they're running out right now, and Warriors were probably healthier at the time. And obviously, this is going to be in the back of Reece Walsh's mind that, wow, I kicked out on the full, gave these cunts a win in Golden Point. So you have the revenge factor. You have Warriors flying from New Zealand to Suncorp to play Brisbane, who are still at home after raping Sharks, and you're running there without Barnett, with just some weirdos in the back line, and you're going to go and expect to go and compete with the Brisbane for 80 minutes. I actually think Brisbane's going to blow these cunts off the park.
Come on, Waz. Prove to me you cunts are good. I like them. I actually think they're the right side.
I'm sorry, mate.
Who do they play next week, Warriors? Convenient enough.
They might have a bye.
No, they're not allowed.
They have a bye.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, even more reason to
Wait.
get
Is
hammered
next
into
week
the
the
bye.
Origin round again?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, the sneak peek for Origin, but does that not mean that they can't pick Hudson now?
Who? No,
New
he's
South
not
Wales.
injured. He's just being rested.
Ah. But doesn't he have to play this game in order to be picked? Okay, fair enough. No, I think the Warriors are the right side. I'll trust the consistency over these retards.
I could get bitten by the Brisbane Snake because
If
they bite me every
Ben
other
Hunt
week.
was there, I would agree. I would lay minus 19 and a half.
I'm not sure Ben Hunt.
No, oh, yeah.
Ben Hunt's the tipping point of these cunts getting fucking hammered.
No,
They're gonna get hammered.
he is.
And I will issue Wise Nation a massive apology, and I will nuke Brisbane in the review if they go and win by 2 or if they lose outright. But I know I'm playing with fire going...
Capewell knows every blade of grass.
I know I'm playing with fire going the Brisbane route because of how unreliable these morons have been, but I just have this gut inkling that, yes, Warriors are the right side. Yes, Warriors are the side you should back. Yes, the points in a fixture like this are key, but I think you can take 5.5 and look up at the scoreboard after 20 minutes and be like, it's 18-0, we're fucking finished. And that's what I truly believe.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I have to take the Waz in this one.
Shout out to the Waz and all my G's
All the
out
Waz
there.
Nation.
And shout out to the Zarefus brothers.
The game
Both
of the
you
round.
boys, I know you have been itching at the bit to watch your team who give up every other
No,
round.
they're
But
not.
we have a lot of reinforcements coming back for the Red V this round, which is going to be key for them potentially covering against the high-flying Parramatta Eels who no quit and have a lot of fight in them, it seems. A spread of 3.5, and this is your lineups, ladies and gentlemen. Corey Allen and Christian Tuipulotu return from hamstring injuries, while Sana Val Holmes is also back on deck after missing the Sharks game. Hard run in back row, Jaden Sewer has been named to return, while Vilami Fafita comes in for his first NRL game of 2025 on the bench, with Pacifica Tonga making way after scoring 8 tries in 8 games. Dylan Brown returns from suspension, sees Joash Papali revert to the bench. Samrani starts at centre instead of Will Penasini after his dangerous throw when they were up 13 plus with 1 minute to go in the Titans
Dumbass.
game. Papali fills the main spot vacated by Riley Smith, who is also suspended for smashing the shit out of Titans.
How many games is he out for?
2. So Para essentially running out nothing, and Dragons look quite strong. Do you have it in you to lay points with Dragons?
Oh, yeah. Is that it? Come on. This is like... All right. Para being underdogs to Titans is one thing. At home. To go on the road, 2 Dragons, off a bye, and only laying 3? Is that it? Dragons look much better this week. Where have all these players come from? The only concern is Gula starting with Clemmer, which...
Fuck me, Dragons.
But what's fortunate for these cunts is the actual pack for Para isn't that great. But
Isn't it?
no.
They look fucking pretty possessed every other round.
Yeah, I know, but it's not. On paper. And also, the most important smashing, as you would say, Dragons already smashed Lomax. Especially to add in your revenge factor, which you said about Walsh, especially as Lomax beat them last time with his stupid field goal to beat them in Golden Point. So, look, Para are going to die. I think Dragons, like, Flanagan is going to really rile these cunts up and really fire
He's
them
going to
up.
out-coach Riles.
Yeah, and no testament against Para because at some point you're just not going to have enough boys. And Riley Smith is a big loss, and I don't think that's been accounted for in the spread. To be honest, having fucking is last 6 starting.
Last 6 starting.
Oh, good God! Last 6 starting is a big difference, and Dragons, like as shit as they are, bringing back their best forward as well, Sewer. So I just think this is Dragons all the way. I can't go past them.
3.5, is that it?
Yeah, so you agree with me?
Dragons.
You can.
Laying points with you, cunts. Hilariously, you could have laid the same line in the fixture that these 2 morons played each other.
Yeah, banquet.
When I went to Iran.
Yeah.
And I checked the scoreboard upon landing. And Dragons lost. And gave Para their first win of the year. Can they truly go off a bye and lose to them again? Anything can happen with Dragons.
But
and I'm well aware of that when I say the following
that's not
statement.
possible.
But realistically, they should hammer Para.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of the day, it will be 15-0 between Gutho and Lomax. Lomax got his win against his old team, and this time it's Gutho's turn.
Yeah.
And I think as awful as as the Dragons forwards are, we knew this already. But Sewer coming back is a massive win for these cunts that they have some semblance of a human in the forward pack that they can rely on. And at the end of the day, Para, you can't undag.
And genuinely, if Dragons lose this, they genuinely could come last.
Dragons, if you lose this, there's no saving you for the rest of the year.
That's
what I truly think. But I'm not going to poo-poo Para and scoff at them. It's just, this is more like, all right, Dragons, you cunts need to wake up than anything else.
Yeah, this is not Para.
No, I'm not saying it. I've learned throughout the course of the season, shout out to Joel Coddington, shout out to Seabass, the ambassador of Eels, that I have enough respect garnered for these cunts that I'm not going to sit here.
You have respect for Riles.
I respect Riles, and everything is brought into the building. And now they're a team possessed with no one. But
now they have
this
no
is
one.
more like, all right, Dragons, if you're going to lose this, then what's the point of you cunts even running out there? When's your next win? When you play Melbourne again, you fucks. But there's really not much more to say. Wake up. I will miss Sloan, but
I don't miss him.
you just can't keep running him out there when he makes these boneheaded decisions.
Sloan's better than Allen. Come on.
I'll take Allen.
No.
At least he won't sabotage Gotham.
Yeah, he does sabotage, but at least Sloan could run.
No, I'll take Allen. He's an origin player.
Fuck me.
No, we're moving on.
Drew Polon's back. The money man.
I hope he
scores.
I hope he can fucking throw some dosh at Lomax on the left corner. I'll die of laughter. Go Tui Pilotu.
All right, that's
Moving
one
on.
comedy contest.
Moving on to arguably the funniest fixture in the past month. The Finns.
No.
Shout out to the Finns.
No.
Souths are involved. What do you mean no?
The last game is...
Just before we move on from Dragons, if I didn't have the opportunity to do what I'm going to do with Under Duress, I would have put Dragons under duress. Come on. At some point, you have to wake
it's
up.
the middle of the season. You're just going to say Cowboys the next 5 weeks.
No. Spoiler alert. Well, I'll get to that when we get to that. But
forgot
before we
about
get to that,
Cowboys.
we got to go 7:30 p.m. sharp at the Dolphins' home stadium, Suncorp.
Again? When are these guys going to... Wait, what? Weren't they supposed to play in Redcliffe because of the game they lost in week 1?
I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Because they lost it in week 1 because of the
Week
Suncorp.
1 was scheduled at fucking Suncorp as
Yeah,
well.
but they decided to come here. So why the fuck
They
did
just
not-
refused to play in Redcliffe. But anyway, the Finns are taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Shout out to all the real pod followers that have been with us since day one.
I love
in the
South.
infamous venue change fixture from round 1 where we got 4.5, it got voided, and
Which is
they've
a
covered
convenient-
4.5 and lost. But this time, the South Sydney Rabbitohs are coming, boasting 4 straight losses, and the Dolphins return from Perth after copping an L to my Knights. And this is the changes. Unfortunately, shout out to Jack Bostock, who tears his ACL and is out for the rest of the season, with the signing of the junior Tupou to come back on the wing. Josh Kerr has been recalled on the bench for me, and Tawa drops to the reserve.
I thought Tupou was let go.
No, he's there. He just hasn't had a chance to crack the high-powered offense
Now
backline.
he's cracked it.
Speaking of backlines, Campbell Graham and Cody Warder return to the Bunnies backline. So Jack Wyden shifts from 5'8" to centre. Ewan Aiken returns to back row. Peter Mamazoulis has been named to return from an elbow injury off the bench, while Jaden Sullivan is listed among the reserves
Thank God.
and looks to return. I'm not sure in what capacity, but he's looking. The inclusions have seen Ryan Gray and LeBlanc make way, and Isaiah Tasser up to 18th man. A spread of 4.5 in the favour of the Finns, Chrissy, in the magical stadium of Suncorp. What do you see happening? Will you possibly be sounding anything for
This is
match?
my alarm. This sound alarm. South Sydney will win this game. Souths are going to be my Knights for his Knights. Souths are my version of it. Souths 1-7 is all of a sudden looking outstanding. I mean, Souths have got everyone back for once, which is a first.
To put names to what you're saying, Chris, Latrell Mitchell, Johnston, Wyden, Campbell Graham, Munro, Walker, and Humphreys. It's been a while.
It's taken a while, hasn't it, Wayne? And look, Souths, compared... Do you know what's fascinating? Compared to the team they had to fucking play in week 1, compared to this team, it's night and day. And yes, this is at Redcliffe. Well, not Redcliffe. This is at Suncorp. And yes, you're playing a Dolphin side who somehow have become more rated now than they were week 1, which doesn't make sense because week 1 they had Plath and Gilbert and Kavusi and all these boys.
Because they fucking score 50 a week now.
I get it.
We know that they were actually better in week
Correct. But truly, the offense that scares me the most is the South's left edge. And the South's left edge is fully intact. And may say, okay, a lot of people will say the South forwards are out. It's not like the Dolphins forwards are there anyway to stop the South forwards.
If anything, more of the Dolphins forwards are out.
Exactly. And the South's backline, look, the Dolphins backline without Bostock, so you already got a replacement. And 1-7 versus 1-7, you can argue both sides. You can say the Dolphins side is better, or you can say the South side's better.
Who would you take gun to your head?
South.
Same.
And they have the experience,
Yes.
I would say, over the Dolphins side. So Latrell, I think think about it, in the last 2 matches, including Origin, I think he's done 6 tries. And at fullback and at centre. He is actually low-key getting in so big form, and only Cody Walker will only make that left edge even more dangerous than it was every other week. And they scored 4 tries very easily past Melbourne. Dolphins are not renowned for defense. They let Knights score 26 points, which is equivalent to 52 when you're talking about Knights. And in my mind, I think the South's left edge is just going to terrorize this team. Wayne's got something to prove. Wayne's playing his old team. This seems like a pretty easy upset alert.
Fade the Dolphins for the next 3 or 4 weeks because the spread has caught up with these cunts in recent weeks. I understand they went out there and won 50-0 3 weeks in a row, but you do have to look at their opposition. The Bulldogs with nothing, Cowboys who are nothing intrinsically, and Dragons who are even beneath Cowboys.
No.
That's who they have hammered in those 3 weeks. And it's literally the same argument that I made last week in the Knights game. It's not as egregious because you're not getting 13.5 with Souths, you're only getting 4. So I'm really not going to come and say that the spread is too off. But considering it's not at Redcliffe, Souths generally play decent in Suncorp, and Souths are coming off 4 straight losses, whereas the Dolphins probably don't have that same sense of urgency after losing only 1 game and winning 500-0 every other week. I think this is a massive, massive hammer spot for South. South's getting points. Not sure you'll need them because I think they will win outright. But that 1-7, as Chris mentioned, strength on strength that the Dolphins probably wouldn't have had to deal with us being like, well, 1-7, the opposition might actually be stronger than them because Souths haven't had the luxury of naming this caliber of a fucking backline. But now that Walker and Munro and Humphreys and Latrell and Johnston
And Wyden
and Campbell Graham are all there, I don't think Souths have named this 1-7 once this entire year. So what we expected out of South Sydney in terms of the difference in how they approach the games and their effort and their fight under Wayne Bennett has been present throughout the entire season. They don't go out there and give up. Even when they go down by big margins, they fight tooth and nail for 80 minutes. And that hasn't really necessarily resonated in their results because they haven't been healthy enough to win games. But now they are healthy enough. I expect the wins to start coming. And I do somewhat expect the Dolphins to enter not a free fall because they are too good to lose game after game after game. But
regression.
I think that part of the season where you can just assume they're going to go out there and hammer size every week is done. And
Agreed.
I don't think you will be seeing hammer time in this game. You'll be seeing trail mitt magic. And I do truly believe that South's going to win this game outright. And I believe in them. Let's go South Sydney.
I agree. Let's go South.
Upset alert. I'm all on board
Let's
with
go.
you.
I wish Peter was starting.
I'm really glad Peter's not starting. And where the fuck is Brandon Smith is what I'm wondering. I would truly like him to run out there.
Oh, well, they got to save him for Roosters. And truly, I think it's Campbell Graham. I think Campbell Graham and Farnworth's going to be a fucking battle.
It is.
Yeah,
and on the other side, you got Wyden on Averillo. So, like you said, the South left edge, I'm not sure anyone in the league can defend them when they're firing on all cylinders. The South's bench does worry me. Peter, Hubner, Moali, and Totola.
But Wayne.
It's pretty bad, but Wayne will get the best out of them.
Is that Harrison Graham?
Harrison Graham, Lamelu, Raystone, and Josh Kerr.
Yeah, they're a bit better.
Would you even take the South's pack over the Dolphins one?
No, Kepi's there.
Kepi, Kaloa Matangi, Aitken, Talis Duncan, and Jai Arrow versus Molo, Nichols, Fini Fuiaki, Keely, Donahue.
You lost me at Kepi.
I'll take the South's one.
No, I can't take it.
Because I know there's 4 points in that forward pack through Kaloa Matangi scoring.
I don't even know if he's going to get the ball.
Aitken, he knows most of the Dolphins players.
Look, Kepi's there. Just take the 1-7 South and don't worry about the rest. Kepi's there.
Come on, Souths. Wake
Come
up.
on, South.
Make that finals push that we know you're capable of. Come on, boys. Wake up.
You're better than Roosters.
Oh, God. My infamous fixture of week 1 of the finals. Melbourne Storm hosting...
They're not 12.5.
Melbourne Storm hosting the Cronulla Sharks after neither of these morons covered last week. The Sharkies quit in the second half, the Broncos, and Melbourne quit after the 5th minute to Souths and still somehow won. Here are your ins and outs for this game. Xavier Coates returns after being rested. Anderson goes to centre. Howarth is ill. Utoy, Kamanu and Liero start. And they revert two of the last week's starters onto the bench. Oregon Kafusi returns after being a late out last week. So Hamlin Ueli goes to the bench and Puru drops out. Spread of 9.5. Can you even truly run out there and back Cronulla with what they've dished out in the last month? Truly not playing a good game since the Melbourne one, which they infamously won for you in your upset alert. Will it be up Cronulla or down Cronulla?
I have to take him.
Fuck you.
I'm sorry, JB, and I'm sorry because I know you're gonna say Melbourne, but they're gonna go fucking do something, aren't they? Fuckwits. Truly, they're actually coming up there as my most hated team because I know they're gonna perform
because of what they put you through.
I know they're gonna perform. I already know they're gonna play well in advance.
Oh, I'm so sick of this team.
And it's actually sickening even to look at the lineup. I don't want to look at the lineup.
It's the same 17
It's the
every
same
week.
idiots and they go out there and give up. But they play Melbourne and now they're going to play good, aren't they? Look, the only case, there's no case for Sharks other than this. They lost the game that they were awful in and they started so well, but they ended up losing. Melbourne won a game which is convenient to them that they were also awful in. And in my opinion, I'd rather lose a game. And in Cronulla's opinion, I would rather for them to fucking feel the burn that they're literally one loss away from being 500.
Less than 500.
Less than 500. Then go out and win that game against Brisbane. Let them come all the way back and go win. So can I take a team like Melbourne who literally played for 5 minutes and lay 10 points with them? Obviously, they could go and fucking annihilate Sharks. But in my opinion, these motherfuckers, as soon as they're completely written off to another level, because last week they weren't written off. You could see the Sharks team was only 4.5 to the same Brisbane team that's playing this week, and was a 6.5. So rated in that mind, Sharks are rated higher than Warriors, hypothetically. But they're not. They're seriously not at that level. And now that they've fucked up that game, they fucked up the Roosters game, they fucked up the game at home, they're going to go and play a good game again, aren't they? Because they're due. Sharks are due to have a good game. And the last time, like you said, they had a good game was conveniently against Melbourne. And that was probably their best performance that they've had like the whole season.
I'm not sure that's convenient for them this round, though.
I just don't think. In my mind, I was coming on saying that they shouldn't show up. But the more I think about it,
convinced yourself.
I know these cunts are going to go there and cover. And if not, they might win.
They might win, huh? They are truly the dumbest motherfuckers of all time. If
They're
they go
the
and win.
dumbest, yeah, they're the dumbest team ever.
This is going to resonate with you, and you're not going to be happy that I say this. And I don't say this with a smile on my face because
They're awful.
I actually do like this Sharks team.
I don't.
A lot. I like the club. I like the players.
I don't.
I like how they've progressed since Fitzgibbon took over.
Will they progress?
I have been rooting for them for the past 4 years to do something, to cover a line in the finals, to make it to a grand final.
They're going to make amends.
To go and get Fanua Blake and do something. But after the way they lost to Broncos last week, I officially think they're beyond help.
No, they won't give up.
I truly think I have gotten the marker out and put a fucking cross against these cunts. And they're done.
Oh, yeah, they're done.
There's no coming back.
There is.
I'm not sure they'll win a finals game this year.
They won't.
And I think they're going to get hammered on Sunday.
Yeah, no. See, it's too logical. You're thinking in logic.
Hey, I'm a logical man.
Yeah, that's the problem. You got
Until it comes tonight.
You got to sometimes feed into the narrative that these motherfuckers are the dumbest cunts in the competition. That they're going to go there and really try against Melbourne at 2 p.m. when literally they should go there and get killed. They won't.
They're dead.
No, they won't.
I'm not sure I want anyone going to Melbourne at 2 p.m. this round. Especially the team I would least want to go to Melbourne at 2 p.m. is these cunts because of how they beat them last time.
No, Dragons.
No, Dragons, they're the Melbourne Slayers.
Take them there too.
Dragons might win.
Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. But it's as far as this specific round, I can't actually sit here and say the spread's wrong because
No, it's not.
As bad as Sharks are and have been, Melbourne,
They can't cover
they
it.
try for 5 minutes around, right? So can you consistently get away with laying 9 with a team that doesn't even give a fuck about their own results? Probably not. But what's the one team in the one time slot of this round in the one situation that
They've always
Melbourne
been
have
that's my point.
had to kick up the arse of, well, you can't beat Souths by 1. Please wake up. And I'm at a point where I would rather, this is going to sound really dumb on face value, but just work with me here. I would rather lay 10 with Melbourne against a top side than lay 10 against a loser side.
Yeah.
Because the top side will, like, get Melbourne's attention throughout the week of, we can't just go.
No. Yeah, but you're.
We can't just go throw the footy around for 80 minutes.
I agree.
But in a sense,
but Sharks are already rated so low, so they're already.
Melbourne know better, right? Because they beat them last time. They're not going to look at Sharks as 8-8 or whatever garbage they are. They're going to look at Sharks of, we've played these guys in the finals. They beat us in points bed quite handsomely last time we played.
It's the same.
And you know what? We only just beat Souths by 1, and Bellamy yells at us, but we win every other week. But just so he doesn't yell at us this round, we'll go and annihilate the existence of Sharks. Full-time score 38-12. There's death coming to Sharks. And I truly think for Sharks, it's all going to get too hard for them out there.
Sorry, JB.
JB, I'll back you and your team. Fuck Sharks.
28-26, Cronulla.
They
might win.
On to the more exciting.
Who cares? This Sunday is the prelude.
This is one of the greatest games of all time, ladies and gentlemen. My Gold Coast Titans have Tommy Weaver running out.
How many
Shut up! I'm
shit
talking.
teams have you claimed?
My Gold Coast Titans are running out Tommy Weaver at halfback because Jay Ross is out with a head knock. Tino starting along with Mo.
No, he's not. Mo's on the bench.
No, they're both starting.
I read.
Cleese Haas returns to the bench alongside Alex Sauce and Isaac Fasuamalawi. Jake Clifford earns a recall at 5'8" with Purdue shifting to centre and Braden Burns making a way out of the NRL where he should never be seen again under any capacity. Reece Robson returns from Origin after not covering to Queensland, and Ruben Cotter returns back on deck, but Taumalolo remains sidelined indefinitely. Will we ever see him again? I don't know. I'm not done. Carl Lawton is out suspended. Thank fuck for that. And Kai O'Donnell and Thomas Duffy drop out of the fucking side. And Thomas McKaylee comes onto the bench for me to run out 4 demons to destroy Titans. But before I say anything else, this is the first ever under duress where I'm putting the fixture under duress. I'm putting both these cunts under duress. Because you will be put into the pits of the NRL, whoever loses this game. And I'm not talking spread, I'm talking head-to-head. If Titans lose this, literally die as a franchise.
They will,
Nuke the fucking headquarters. Get them out of the sport. I don't want to see these pricks again. And Cowboys, I can't come on here and ever say yee-hi again if they use the Titans.
That's the whole trademark.
Nah, with them, like...
I'll say it.
I can't even cheer on their garbage performances if they go out and lose the Titans. That's beyond them.
Sit back, relax with your popcorn for the next 20 minutes.
A spread of 2.5 in the favor of, if anything can be in the Cowboys' favor, the spread is, because that's how atrocious Titans are. But it's actually revealing how bad Cowboys are that they're only 2 points. Like, anyone that runs out against Titans would be minimum 4.5.
Power were just 4.5 last week.
No, but that was with nothing. Like this round, after seeing Titans quit to that Para team, I'm not sure they'd be favourites against anyone.
You can't, even without Campbell.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
That was with
Campbell. This could have been Pickham.
Yeah. Weaver running out, and you cunts are like only 2 points favourites.
All right,
fuck me.
Let's go back to the start. You can't claim Titans. Titans are my team.
Fine. I just want Knights. You can have...
you can have Cowboys.
You can have the other 16 teams. I just want Knights.
No, you can have Cowboys.
All right, I'll take them.
Yeah, because you like them. And you say yeehaw.
Would I want them more if they quit this week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, yeah. All right. I'm actually convinced, and Matt will love this. I'm convinced these coaches actually listen to our podcast.
Because Todd Payton woke
Todd
up.
Payton listened, and now Seabolt.
Yeah.
Seabolt listened and Todd Payton.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
They watch the podcast.
They have to, because as soon as I say whatever's going to happen, these cunts fucking change it. Serraldo mustn't. Someone needs to send this to Serraldo.
And miraculously, the teams play gun as soon as they make the changes as well.
It's incredible. All right, Cowboys, listen. If I had under duress, it would be you cunts. When Clifford was there, you literally had a winning record.
Yeah.
And it's all Todd Payton's fault. He decided to put Labour in, and now Valame is gone. Vilia, he's finished, and Braden Burns will have to play there.
Fuck me.
That was awful. And now you cunts have woken up to your senses to put Purdue back to centre and put Clifford back into the team, which thank God. But
do you mean, bud? You fuck.
I kind of want to take Titans.
Why?
Because,
Why?
look, truly, in my mind, I actually know Titans more than you.
I know you do.
I don't like these spreads when it's only 2.5. Because realistically, there should be 6.5.
Yeah. They're only 2 because of how awful Cowboys are.
Yeah, exactly. So if Titans, like, which franchise do I have more belief in that they won't give up? That's the essence of this game. It's not that, these cunts are just better. There's no one better than anyone in this game. The lineup doesn't mean shit. Honestly, Weaver being there or Campbell being there doesn't mean anything for this particular game. Because Cowboys will lose to Weaver. They don't give a fuck. If they give up, they'll just lose to Weaver as well.
Yep.
So, in my mind, there is no reason for this to be 2.5. It should be 6. So if you're looking at pure just point spread, you have to take Cowboys. But if you are like me that understands this sport too well and understands that someone has to give up, and I say it from day one, I just don't think it's Titans. It's going to be Cowboys, isn't it? And if you want to give up, is a word we use very often, but Cowboys are the essence of exactly what they are. They're just, it gets too hard.
Yeah,
it just gets too hard for them.
Yeah, it's too hard.
It's too hard. And knowing Cowboys, probably give a couple penalties at the start, Titans score, which they can score, and Cowboys just like, yeah, fuck this shit. I can see something like that happening. But if you're looking at a pure point spread, there's no reason to ever take Titans +2. It should be at least 4, if not 6, because they don't have Campbell and co. But can I actually go there and believe that Cowboys can do something in any capacity? Fuck no. They're an awful side, and I can't lay points with them.
This is a tough one, man. This one's hard.
Because you want to take Titans.
Because I want to take Cowboys.
No, you don't.
But I know how awful they are.
Yeah, but they're good this week. They've improved.
I can never take Titans again.
Yeah, but that's your fault after last week.
Nah, it's not my fault. This team is disgraceful.
Yeah, they are disgraceful.
And to a certain degree, Cowboys are atrocious club, right? But they do get a little bit of a reprieve in some ways.
For what?
Their origin players have been there, haven't been there. They've had some... Through Todd Payton's own fucking mismanagement of his club, there was no reason to ever get Braden Burns at centre. Okay? So that is, in my eyes, that's something that could be addressed. Their awful fucking spine play is something that could be addressed. Dropping Clifford for no reason and relegating yourself to not having a kicking game, that's something that easily can be addressed in terms of picking like certain players. Robson returns, he's an origin player. Cotter returns, he's an origin player. Nanai's there, he's fucking can score tries at will.
He's an origin player.
And
unfortunately,
we have seen Cowboys play at a high level within certain games of this season, or within certain periods of games this season, that they can go out there and score 4 tries in 10 minutes. And I haven't seen anything from Cowboys from start to finish. And even in their wins, I scratch my head as to like what was their opposition doing to give them a win. They beat Manly. We've seen them just in the ultimate free fall. And the annoying thing about
Manly?
Titans being Manly.
Oh, Titans. I thought you were talking about
Cowboys beat them 5 years ago, I think. Titans, we've seen that like with what we've saw from Manly of like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Same with Knights, who went up 16-0 and quit to them. And with Titans, the thing that actually infuriates me more, that's more logical about these motherfuckers, and why I actually said that they would cover against Manly was, without Tino and Fodaworker, they're going to go and play better, aren't they? And they look 10 times better. And there's not even an ounce of logic in my mind to explain why. Because when I watch them play, Tino's their best player every week. And I don't get why they play Bugan when he's not there. It makes no sense to me.
No, they played Manly.
In addition to that, Weaver is an awful player. And there's nothing else that we need to mention for that. Foreign, every tackle he makes, I think there's a stretcher that's going to come and collect him off the field.
Forward?
You know? So at 2.5, can I take Weaver and Foreign and the worst defense by far in the competition? Absolutely not. I can't take them.
Can't.
So I'm relegated to, can I take Cowboys and cheer for them? I can take them, but I can't cheer for them. But
You could take them and cheer for Titans.
yeah, realistically, Titans are not good at anything, but Cowboys are good at something. There's something they can hang their hat on, front running, right? When they get on a roll, they're hard to stop. And with the forwards they've named, Hess, Neem, these sort of players coming off the bench, it might get a little hard for Titans. And I think Cowboys are built to take advantage of Titans being a side that, on average, concedes 32 points a week. So can I see Cowboys easily getting to 30 points in this game because of how awful Titans are? I realistically can. And there's no Braden Burns on an edge that gives me cause to lose sleep at night.
But Titans will score.
There's no moron playing hooker where I'm like, well, Cowboys will just let them walk through the middle. There's no...
The speed.
Oh, well, Clifford's not there, so they can't kick. There's no, major concern to me from the Cowboys lineup that... Besides the fact that, well, if it gets too hard, they're going to give up. But both of them have that in them, so that's okay. I'm looking past that point, and Cowboys literally have lost 50 or 100 weeks in a row. And... this is their opportunity to play for Todd Payten. And normally they will get to the brink of everyone being like, Todd Payten needs to be fired, and then they'll fire up and cover for him. And I think this is that week. Whereas Titans, I know that, I think behind the scenes, I'm convinced that they don't train. And when Des Hasler's talking to them in pre-game, they might all have AirPods in.
See, the difference I think in my analysis is that I actually think this is the year Todd Payten gets fired.
Oh, he's not. They're not going to keep him. Don't get me wrong.
Well, they might.
But will his players go out there and give up on him? I don't think so.
I think the club has given up completely.
Fair enough.
In the sense of what are the future they have. No one wants to sign there. Literally, Cobbo didn't want to sign there for God's sake, and he doesn't even play. And Robson's going to go at the end of the year. Drinkwater sucks ass. The back line. Holy fuck, they're awful. They just lost Val. The forwards are aging. They have no hooker. Titans have more hope than them. At least, all right, they can hang their hat on. We have Campbell and Kinney coming back. And Tino. Cowboys have nothing going for them. They might as well, if they lose it, which they will lose the Titans in my mind, they might as well just blow up the whole franchise.
Look.
Deed for sale. Fuck it.
We're not betting on who's has more hope.
No, it is.
2028, we're betting on who's going to fire up on Sunday.
No. It is who has hope. Because these cunts just rely on hope. It's not like they give a fuck. They don't even train.
You know what's wrong with your take? You're coming at me with Titans have this and that, and that's why they're going to be better. Titans have all of that now.
Yeah, but last week was a different story. They played a good team.
Don't worry about last week. What have they done in this entire season?
They beat Knights.
They're literally last in the league. With Dragons, Tigers without Galvin, Para who haven't had Mitch Moses for 10 of the 17 rounds, and Cowboys who literally are minus 180 million points.
Yeah.
And Titans, irrespective of having Des, Tino, Brimson, Campbell, their backline, Fodawaker, signing Reg, having Firma make an Origin debut, they're still last.
Yeah.
So imagine if they lost the players. Cowboys, we can be like...
Yeah, but you just said if they lost the players, they win anyway.
Cowboys, we can be like, holy fuck, they're running out Vilea and Derby. Of course they're going to lose. Whereas Titans, they have everything and they lose. For years, we came on and we're like...
This Cowboys iteration...
For years, Chris. We
lost
came
to
on,
Manly.
We came on and we're like, oh, well, Holbrook's the problem, he can't coach. But they have the players and they can score. They just need someone that will hold them accountable, make them defend. Now they can't defend and they can't score.
No, they can score.
They score garbage, but it's not even like...
Well, Cowboys scored really...
No, but Cowboys have always scored garbage. Titans, they used to run a high-powered offense. But I'm not even sure you can say they can score with Weaver and Foran. We haven't seen evidence of them scoring.
Yeah, but who's going to let them score?
Cowboys.
So,
I'm sorry, Chris.
I have to take Titans.
You can't give me only 2 points with a team that I know is going to go out there and concede 30.
You know what? We haven't said this take all year, which is unlike us. It's going to be Spastic Sunday.
Who plays the Sharks and Titans? Nah, you need bigger Spastics. I need Dragons.
No. Dragons are their own entity. They're favourites.
Yeah.
For once.
I need like Dragons Melbourne.
Yeah.
That's true Spastic Sunday.
No.
You can't say Spastic Sunday when two Spastics are playing each other. You know? So I'm going Cowboys.
Well,
Yeehaw!
has to be overs.
Oh, yeah. But what's the total? 58.5.
Jesus Christ.
It's surely.
No, it can't be 50.
Surely it's accounted for the fact that both these cunts will give up. The total.
50.5. Is that it?
Is that it? It's tied. It's...
Yeah, well. Nah, I think Cowboys, they have it in them to go and cover.
I can't believe in them. Okay, if they lose, they're going to come last.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
No, that's fine.
There's Tigers. I'm not sure when their next win is. Maybe
Cowboys.
Friday. Anyway.
And then I think we have Origin, like selection straight after. Which, the other thing we
got to
really...
rush and do our Origin pod for you cunts to give us 20 views. Do you
Well,
guys not give a fuck about Origin?
No one gives a fuck about Origin. But the other thing will be, like, if Cleary doesn't make it through Thursday,
Who would you pick?
If Cleary doesn't make it through, I mean, I actually would change the selection even if he does make it through.
You would drop Cleary no matter what?
Yeah.
Who would you grab?
Reynolds.
Fuck me.
In my mind...
He plays awful every week.
In my mind, I'll drop both halves. I'll go Reynolds and Walker. Look...
Come on, man.
You got to... In my mind, you have to change the team because if we lose game 3, truly it'll be the most embarrassing loss ever. Like in our history.
Okay, but are we more likely to win game 3 with Cleary or Adam Reynolds at the age of 50?
Adam Reynolds.
Why?
Because what Cleary do in game 2?
What's Adam Reynolds done in 17 weeks for
What
Brisbane?
Cleary do in
except
game
give
2?
Up?
He literally didn't kick for a whole half. And then thought his leg was all good.
This is assuming he makes it through the Dogs game and he's okay.
Yeah, but even if he makes it through, why was he injured in the first half?
I would take Cleary with an amputated leg over Reynolds.
No.
I swear.
Would you go Luai and Walker?
No.
You would take Cleary no matter what?
Yes.
What if Moses was fit?
Then you can have a discussion.
All right, if Moses was fit and Cleary gets through the game...
I would go Cleary and Moses. There's no reason to drop Cleary. We don't have a better option than him.
No, we do.
We don't.
It doesn't matter. This guy hasn't done shit in Origin.
Yeah, but whoever you bring in is not going to do shit in Origin.
That's
either.
fine. It's on them.
Adam Reynolds did nothing in Origin when he was in his
It's on
prime.
them. That's fine.
No, it's on Cleary. If you can't pick a 5-time fucking premiership winner and beat this garbage Queensland side,
He plays like an ass.
then your state is beyond help. It's not a matter of bringing Reynolds and Walker and do something.
The reason I brought it up was because if he gets injured on Thursday, a lot of these Origin potential selection players will play a lot better this week. I.e. Walker, i.e. Reynolds, i.e. Katoa. A lot of pressure on him as well. Metcalf possibly as well, because it brings them all into selection purposes, especially with Moses not being there. From a Queensland front, big news for them. And I knew this was going to happen, so things are going to change. Horsburgh's in. Sua is in, so that brings him into selection as well, if they want to pick him at second row.
Do you know for a fact Horsburgh's getting selected? Or
Well, I've heard that he will be for game 3. But obviously Hunt not playing, that's
big.
encouraging
Encouraging to a degree because it's an admission from Slater that, hey, I know we won, but we still suck ass and we need to make changes.
Correct.
So I rate that from them. On the Blues side, if you were to poll 100,000 Blues fans after game 1 and ask them, hey, would you make any changes to this team? All of them would say no, run out the same 17. So in my eyes, outscoring Queensland 5 tries to 4 does not garner enough of a reasoning to then be like, hey, let's change everything. Or let's change our captain in a way.
There's a few things you do need to change. Max King can't start.
Max King can never start.
No.
Who would you start?
Fuck me. Terrell May.
Nah. Maybe Jake with no reason. Because that first 20 minutes, it's just...
Oh, you start Spencer. Run off the back fence, you gangster.
Nah, he's a bench player. I would start Jake Trbojevic. Because at least I know, like, whoever runs at him is not going to make one post contact meter.
Yeah, and you only really need to play 20 minutes.
Go play 20 minutes and then bring Spencer off the back fence.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that. Then you can even put Terrell...
I want to agree. I don't want to see Max King in there.
I don't want to see Max King in the whole team.
That's another... Well, he shouldn't have been there in the first place, but that's fine.
And Stefano, no.
You can't start him.
No, you can't put Stefano in. I thought he was all right off the bench. No.
I would go Kolomatangi over Stefano.
Oh, yeah.
We need some South players in there.
100%. And I'll drop Watson.
That's fair, but I like the versatility he brings.
Of what?
tell him, hey, Johnny, when you get on,
Pass.
get our players the ball.
Fair enough.
You know? So, in the recap of that, as I said earlier, I want some likes. I want some comments. You guys let us know. Wise fans.
They're not going to be happy with you.
Was I out of bounds for officially now waving apparently the Wise hatred flag that this cunt has given
Taking
to
it
me?
over. It's off me. It's gone to him.
Bulldogs fans, what do you expect out of your own team? Would you be
Wake up.
disappointed with a loss to the Penrith Panthers? Knights fans, is there any of you cunts that even watch this podcast, or is it just me by myself? Dragons fans, Zarefus brothers, are you sick of your own team, or do you think they're going to fire the fuck up? Sharks fans, will you cunts give up? Jeremy, is there an annihilation coming? Convenient that when you were 12 and a half, you covered that pretty easily in week 1 of the semis, but now everyone's like, well, 9, that's a lot. Is it?
No. The only person that's saying 9's a lot is me. No one else in Australia is going to back Sharks.
I want Sharks destroyed on
And
national
truly,
television.
I wonder if Cowboys and Titans have fans.
Yeah. Cowboys have one fan, it's me, and Titans have one fan, it's you.
No, Clarkie, they make that too.
Even he's given up.
You think he's given up on his
And most importantly, South Sydney are fucking
Go
war.
South.
Go Latrell. Fire up. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, before we end off, 3 most keen things of the round. What are you most looking forward to this round?
I want
unders.
I want blood shed in Brookvale. I want South to win. Truly, they'll make me just happy. It doesn't matter if I'm upset. They'll make me laugh because like South will all of a sudden start winning again. And get the popcorn. Whatever you need on a Sunday afternoon. Whatever you have on Sunday, 4 p.m., tell everyone to fuck off because Titans and Cowboys are playing. Truly, it might be the game of the year so far.
It's up there.
Normally that involves
idiots.
Dragons, but this time it's like, I'm not sure you could do better than these two morons at 4 p.m. on a Sunday.
Doesn't get better.
In Seabus Super Stadium. It's fucking great. From my end, I'm going to do 4 because that's
You miss Roosters.
Oh, 5. Number 1, I miss Roosters. I'll miss you guys this round. Number 2, I want a thriller in Manila on Thursday night between Bulldogs and Panthers, where you get the best version of Dogs, the best version of Penrith, good refereeing that's impartial, and you let the teams decide the result.
You know, you got the game again for game 3 anyway.
Yeah, to give New South Wales 500 calls. I want to see 250-0 for some reason. I just want Brisbane to dismantle someone because I don't feel vindicated with how they covered last week. I really want Souths to go on.
I love
Souths. I want Sharks to lose by more than Warriors.
Okay.
I want to see a comedy show on Titans and Cowboys. And most importantly to all of that, Go Knights! I love you guys. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen. See you on Sunday.